Williamson. How are you today? Hey, I'm going to let this show be the kind of a fill in for the midday thing as well as probably the evening thing as well, the 6 p.m. program for the Path Forward, because, I'm still in Huntington, West Virginia. I'm not near my main computer back home. So I am right now, you can see, but this is, well, Waverly Street is out there. It's right along the river in Ohio, Huntington, West Virginia, along the Ohio River. So I'm going to turn the camera around and walk up that. This embankment here, let me see if I can turn the camera around real quick. This embankment, I got to find some shady spots to see what it actually says. Okay, triple camera in the back. Okay, so this embankment is the flood wall, one of the flood walls. There are quite a few around here, from Huntington all the way into Cerrito and places like that, just down by the Big Sandy River and confluence of Big Sandy and Ohio River. And so I'm going to walk up now and go up here and check it out. Got, got my car parked at the bottom of the hill. Bottom of the hill, yeah. This is a, this supposedly, I think, is the pumping station where I'm located at right now for the Ohio River flood system for Huntington. Whoops, goodness. And there's the Ohio, the mighty Ohio. Can't see much about it from here, but you can see above and see this flood wall is what protects those people from that water. Jeez, look at this. It's massive. Big embankment up here. So I don't have a clear shot of the water, but it still is fascinating, I do think. Ah, and I don't know if you can see it right here in this image, but off in the distance is a water tower. That water tower is at the Huntington Veterans Affairs Medical Center, the Herschel Woody Walker, or Herschel Woody Williams VA Medical Center. He's a Medal of Honor winner, passed away in 2022. And he used to hang out here all the time. He's from this region of the country. So he was here all the time. He worked as a volunteer at the VA and had for a long time. But all the stories I have, he's a fantastic person, human being. So I'm just going to scan around and go back to the river and see. And then look back over here. So, yeah. Well, I hope everyone has fun for what you're doing. I'm going to go on down the river a little bit and check it out, see if I can get closer to the water somewhere. Okay? So hang on. Let's drive down by the embankment here. I think you have to go out to Waverly Boulevard. It's just a one-way street right there. So, whew, definitely an experience. But anyway, this is the flood wall actually in Huntington, West Virginia, that separates the Ohio River from the homes over on this side. And I just came down this set of steps that go to the top of that embankment, and I'm getting ready to go get in my car and drive down a little bit further to see if I can find a clearer access to the water. I love water, obviously. Hold on, I'm putting you in the car. Right there. All right. Just hang on. And I'm going to see if I can make sure I got this recorded. No, let's see. And we're still to turn the camera around because I want it down, looking down, but looking out in front of me. Okay. So here we go. So I'm going to back up and go to the west, which the Ohio River is traveling west here. Ohio's on the other side. Kentucky's down past the Big Sandy River. They all come together in this area here. The three rivers. Yeah, there are three rivers. It's the Tug River and feeds into the Big Sandy, which feeds into the Ohio. And then the Guyandotte River is just up the road to the east of here a little bit too. Comes out of part of Wayne County, I think. Anyway, let me go back out here to the main road. We'll just drive out here and take a look at things. This is some of the homes in an older part of the city of Huntington, West Virginia. I don't know the population of the city, but I'm going to go down by the flood wall and see if I can get a little bit closer to the water. So I'm going to go west. Here we go. Going west, young people. Going west. So let's see. Yeah, it's a pretty little place. It's very quaint right here. I know they got the bigger buildings and structures in the main part downtown Huntington, but you know, this is where the people live out here. It's fascinating to me. I just like seeing where people are, you know, all across the country. When I traveled the country a number of years back, I spent 6 months out on the road. I loved being where the people were and not where the tourists were. Except that now I did go into the touristy place of Sturgis, South Dakota, because, you know, they were having bike week when I was there. Even though I was at the time in a little yellow field, I kind of stood out like a sore thumb. But it was fun. It was fun being there in Sturgis. I remember sitting down at a McDonald's early in the morning. All the bikers were in there. And if you know anything about me, I am the one who's going to go sit down in the middle of them, regardless of the warnings that other people might give me. You don't want to go there, that's a dangerous button. I'm like, really? Come on, they're just people, just like me. No different. Well, maybe a little, but no major differences. Well, maybe a little. But, you know, I just like being where the people are. Whenever I go somewhere, I would go find the restaurants that were the homegrown kind. You know, the people who were out in the community making a living. They had their own little mom and pop restaurant, you know, there in those communities. And that was always the best way to find out more about these towns and where these people were and who they were and all that. I mean, it was just fantastic. So I'm going to go down this way right now. No parking on this side of the street. Okay, I'm going to see if this road actually continues the other direction. Oh, it does. Good. And we get to go up on top, but I think that might be, whoa, a hole. Not sure you can actually go up there. We're going to go find out, though. Who's with me? We're going to go find out. Watch up here. That might be the pumping station. The pumping station. Yeah, you can't go in there. You can see the river. Huntington, oh, it's sanitary place. Okay, no admittance without prior authorization. I am not prior authorized, but I can't see part of the river right now. I'm looking back over. That's in front of me right now. What you're looking at is Huntington, part of it again. River's over to the left. Hopefully that's the way it looks in this image too, but I suppose it might be another way in the image I'm looking at on the camera. So let me get out of here, see if we can find another way down. I'm not using Google Maps or Apple Maps or anything like that because you're not going to get lost around here. You're just not going to. You might end up in some weird places, but hey, what the heck? That's where people live, right? And that's the most fascinating thing to me. Now let me see if I can find a way. A bump. That's a dead end down this street, so nope, we're not going down that one. Y'all just hang on with me. I'm doing a drive around. This is a drive about in Huntington. I'm gonna go down and find another road See if I can get closer to the river. I want to get over and where I can see a lot of water. Whew, love the water. Actually, I've been on canoes from Williamson, West Virginia, all the way down the Tug River, through the Big Sandy River, and turned up the Ohio River just a little ways in a canoe when I was with scouts and stuff back in the day. We would do that. I don't even know if I was in the scouts at the time. Probably not. Dad was big into it, camping and all that, and we went everywhere. We had canoes all over the place. People would meet us at different places. We met them one time. Dad and the scouts in the late 60s took 3 canoes, a bunch of scouts from our Forest Hills team troop, and they went from Tug River into Big Sandy, down the Ohio to the Mississippi, all the way down to the mouth of the Mississippi. And we drove down. I was real young then, obviously. We drove down and picked them up and brought them back. They were gone 3 weeks on the water. That, I don't know. That would have been fun-ish. I know it's tough on a boat, canoe, but yeah, it can be done. So, fun as it is. Got some old geezer over here looking at me. He's probably younger than me. He looks older though. Everybody looks like they're older than me, but I have a young opinion of myself. Yeah. If the light would turn green, we would go. I'm going, on Waverly Road. It's the left of my image, but it's likely going to look like it's going right on yours. Don't know. Yeah, it is. But I'm going left in my image, what I'm seeing. And now we're looking at DT's Second West Virginia Fund. I don't know what that is. Diversified Assessment and Therapy Services. Speed limit is 40. I'm doing 35. I'm in good shape. Giovanni's Pizza. I got one of those back on. Cross Point. That's a community church. I've seen that name somewhere else before too. Cross Point. Oh, actually one up in Hardy. But anyway, so I'm just looking around here in Huntington, and City of Huntington Waste Treatment Facility, DT's Lounge. Oh, that's what that bunch is. Lounge and bars. You always get the best food in a bar, though. Seriously. I don't know though. Oh, here's Camden Park. Came here as a kid. We would ride the roller coaster. Oh my God, that thing's it's scary to death. I'm just going to turn around, y'all. I'm not parking. No outside food or drinks. Okay. So anyway, this is the park. This is Camden Park. This thing is old as the hills. It's older than me. I think. But you probably saw the old roller coaster. That thing right over there. That's the old wooden roller coaster. That thing. Oh God, it beat you to death. I've never liked wooden roller coasters since then. Let's put it that way. I did ride one once, and I didn't like it. It beat me up, made me sick. I forget where that was. Been on a bunch. But here we go. Let's go back out here to the main road, Waverly. They've added a few things, but the wooden roller coaster is still there. Oh, wow, that's awesome. Left lane in, speed limit 55. Where are we headed? Don't know. Hang on with me. We're just going to drive around. I'll see it's part of the river down there. I love the water. You know, I could just live and die right by the water. Well, I don't want to die. Nobody does. Right by it, right? But you can certainly live on the water. Got some friends with some yachts and big boats. Classmates of mine, I would love to go here. We're in Cerrito, West Virginia. Mose A. Napier Bridge. Plants, loading docks for coal onto the barges on the river. Over to the right, over that way. That's all loading dock stuff over there. Probably see it zipping by in the trees. But if anyone has epilepsy, don't look at that, because that flashing light is dangerous for you. All right, so here we are going into Cerrito. Speed limit dropped down to 35. Radar enforced, and I sure don't want to give them any coffee money. Oh, Cerrito. Oh, we're going into the Cerrito flood wall. Here we go. Let's see, Cerrito. That's supposed to keep the Ohio River out from destroying the city. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that was meant for Huntington or Cerrito. I don't know. I'm going to find a way to go. Rieger Funeral Home and Crematory. Okay. And let me go on. Austin's Homemade Ice Cream place. 4th Street. I'm going to get to the river eventually. I know that straight ahead of me, if you go straight to the west, you'll run into the Big Sandy River. You'll have I-64, Interstate 64 over on my left side, and the Ohio River is on my right side. And yeah, I had an uncle and aunt who lived here a long time ago. They've since passed, but they were my dad's family. My dad's aunt, really. They were my great uncle. Let's go down 2nd Avenue. Let's see if 2nd has an opening to the water. I don't know. So if everybody's watching, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. And what I'm doing is I'm in Cerrito, West Virginia right now, which is a little community near Huntington, right beside, actually. And I just drove by Camden Park, which is just crazy. I've been there in 4 decades, I would say. Maybe more than that, close to 5 decades. Let's do it that way. It's about 5 decades. Let's go this way. I'm just riding around trying to find access to see the river. I want to see the Ohio. Going to take a look at the Ohio before I head back to Hardy, Kentucky. Is this a one-way street? I don't know. It does not say. Maybe the people know and I don't know. What do we have? What do we have around here? Let's see. Stop sign. Up big field. Got to get closer to the water. I'm going to run into it eventually. Driving through Cerrito, West Virginia. And I know I can go out Cerrito and I can turn south and end up going right out on the interstate or Highway 52, which goes back to Williamson. Getting closer to the water, I see the big berm over there, the embankment. No left turn. 7 a.m. except buses. That's a school apparently. So hang on, everybody. I know that bridge has to go across the river somewhere. Goes from here over to Ashland, I believe. Ashland, Kentucky, that train bridge. If I'm not mistaken. That one could come out of Ohio, though. Ohio to West Virginia, and then crosses on over into Kentucky. All three together right here. So I'm going to get to the water pretty soon. Hang on. Oh, I love that tree. It's just twisted. Yeah, that bridge actually, train bridge that comes out of Ohio, comes into West Virginia, and I know Kentucky's across the way. So, we'll see who's up here. If you happen to see any red-haired people in some of these images, well, they're family, quite literally. uh, that's a true statement. Okay, gonna have to go this way, then we're gonna go this other way. I am doing everything I can to get to the water. I'm gonna be intersecting Kentucky, West Virginia, and Ohio before too long. You can see the big Sandy River and the Ohio River where they all come together. Big Sandy has a couple of docks on that where they load coal and stuff like that for power plants and other uses around the world, really. Metallurgical coal and different kind of things are up through here. But power plant coal, it requires a different BTUs to do different things like that. But you have different ash content and all of that kind of stuff that I don't know a whole heck of a lot about. Brother knows more, a lot more. Off-road transports. Okay, where are we now, folks? See, I know that somewhere down through here is where my uncle and aunt used to live. They lived right up against the flood wall near the Big Sandy River and Ohio River. That would have been just fascinating when it flooded. Go out and watch the water climb the wall. Oh my goodness, here we go. Cerrito, West Virginia. Uh-oh, residents of the month back there. All right, that's good, that's cool. I am seeing just how far I can go down through here or I have to turn around and go back. I want to get to the water. I want to get to the water. I just left the VA, had a really good appointment at a meeting with at my doctor's office. My doctor wasn't there, but the nurse practitioner was, and she's really good. It was a good thing. I'm thinking this might be the end of the line for me. I don't know. It's definitely not the place I want to be. Let's go this way because I know what's out here. I know bodies of water that are here. Whether or not I can get to them, that's a different story. Total distribution. Marathon Oil, Canova, Cerrito and Canova terminals right here too. Butane tanks. I don't think we want to do any matches. I'll turn around because this is definitely not where I need to be. Okay, we'll just keep on driving just a little bit more. At some point I'll be able to get to where the I know this stuff, all these tanks and things are on the water, near the water, near the rivers, both of them. And I don't know about that part. Out through there. Yep, definitely don't fit in here. Let's see, what's out that way? Virginia Point Campground. That is, let's go find out. Getting closer, I know you can smell water, right? Well, seawater. That you can smell. 60 West. Okay. Virginia Point Campground is probably on the water. I'm going to go that way. Oh, wait. That's going on the bridge. That bridge goes over into Hamlettsburg, maybe? Kentucky? So, that's Kentucky in front of us. So, let me see. Canova. This is Canova now. All right. Am I going to be able to see anything on the river? I just don't know. The Billy C. Clark Bridge. Okay, this is Virginia Point. All right. Well, I'll go over to Kentucky. And I'm going across the Big Sandy River, and it merges into the Ohio River near here. Yeah, not too far from here. But I left the river, left the Ohio apparently just a little ways up. So I don't want to go down through Kentucky to get back to Kentucky. That seems kind of strange, I'm sure. This is Catlettsburg, population 4,000. It's one of those hee-haw towns, only a little bit bigger, 10 times bigger. J&J Market. I'm going to go in here and get me something to drink because I need something to drink. There's a drive-through window. I think I'll go get some drive-through drinks. Hold on, everybody. I'm going to order from. I need to get closing times 10. I'm going to back up and get a little closer if I can. Oh, hold on, everyone. I'm live on my phone. Hey, I just need a Coke. Can you give me a Coke? Coke, yeah. A large 20 ounce. I don't need a Coke, but I'm getting a Coke. We're in Catlettsburg, Kentucky. $2. Okay, thank you. All right. Well, that's an interesting little Coke. So everyone, hang on. I'm getting a Coke. Hey, thanks. Appreciate you. Okay, so where are you from?
India.
India?
Yeah.
Never been there. I'd love to go to India. What part of India?
For a long time.
Mumbai? Mumbai? It's somewhere around Mumbai, or because there's 1 billion people live there. It's a
Thank you.
You have a good one. All right, bye. All right, so I don't know how close I can get to the water. I'm gonna go back into West Virginia because it's actually faster to go home, go back to my brother's home in Pike County, Kentucky, by going down West Virginia, rather than staying in Kentucky and going that way. You end up going down 23 to Pikeville, and it's a little bit longer that way. So I'm gonna go back across the bridge. I'm gonna pick the camera up too as I do this, I think. If I can get the camera out of my little holder. Okay, there we go. Uh-oh. Nope. Phew, gotcha. Caught it. All right, so now I'm holding it in my hands and it's gonna be jumping. Just hang on. Here we go across the Highway 60 bridge. It goes from Catlettsburg to Canova, or Canova to Catlettsburg. Canova, West Virginia, Catlettsburg, Kentucky. That's the Big Sandy River right there. On the other end, this is the Tug River. It splits. There's 2 rivers that form the Tug River, the Big Sandy and the Tug Fork of the Big Sandy and the Levisa Fork of the Big Sandy. So, here we are. I've got to turn the AC back on for a second. So I'm going into Canova now. Big Sandy River Road. That's the one I need to go on, actually. Oh my goodness, Kathy's. What is Kathy's anyway? It's a store of some kind. Kathy's. I don't know what Kathy's is. It does not say. I'm going to go with bar. I don't know what that is either. But that's what I think. I'm going to say bar. So here we go. Now we're going to go up, what is this, Big Sandy River Road, because I think this will go up to 52, if I'm not mistaken. There's Becca Lynn's place. Don't go by, give us a try. Okay, then. Here we are. I love it out here. I really do. I love being in where people live, you know. I would be happy out in the woods, in the country, anywhere, just as well as being in a big city. I love New York City. I love Chicago. I love San Francisco and LA. They're all beautiful places. And I love a lot of the people there too, because I mean, they're just amazing people everywhere. They're all different. That's what makes it so fascinating, right? That you have different people everywhere and they're unique. And the diversity of this country is quantifiable. I've told people that before, and they look at me like, "Are you crazy? We don't talk about diversity." Well, yes, we do. We are a diverse nation, okay? And that's a quantifiable number. The challenge people have is how to be inclusive. That's the real challenge, isn't it? How do you include people that are, and those are challenges. Those are difficult ones for a lot of people to deal with. I was just listening to a man talk today, Tad Stromer. He's a historian, teaches at University of Southern Denmark, but also Johns Hopkins, and talking about the early foundation of the United States, the constitutional framing, and that it was for white men. And everybody knew that. Everybody knows that. It was for white men. It wasn't for anything other than that. Everything else was included as property. Everything. Women, children, and slave population. They were included as property and all that. And it's and all those things, really is. And it was a war to undo that, to change it. And then we're still fighting over it all today. Oh my God, are we ever? Phew. I got onto something the other day about Civil War apologists. So they're modern. I mean, the modern Civil War apologists, the Confederate apologists of today, they think they've got it all figured out. They were doing everything they can to deny that it was over slavery, that it was over states' rights and over property rights and stuff like that. And look, and I've said it then, I'll say it again today. They were wrong. There are things that we are doing that is wrong, and we'll look back on it and hope that we learn from it. But yes, we're doing some things in our time in this modern world that are wrong. Discriminating against people who don't look like, think like us, love like us, believe like us. All of those things. Those are wrong. Back then, the discrimination, and it wasn't really, it was just the way it was. They discriminated against women. They couldn't hold property. They couldn't vote. They couldn't do anything along those lines. Everything about them was regulated by the men, the white men on top of that. So that's, I mean, we know that to be the case, right? Everybody, do you know that, right? That's what it was initially. It was written by a bunch of white men for white men. Property owners primarily. Property men. Folks, or to actually do something about that and get the ball moving in another direction that included more people. So, yeah. So right now I'm getting ready to turn straight ahead, and directly in front of me is Highway 52, and that goes back to Williamson, West Virginia. And we can talk for a little ways as long as the signal holds up. But right, there's shipping that comes in over here, different transports up the rivers of Ohio and all that along the Big Sandy, get dropped off here, get picked up here as well. I mean, got FedEx on there, JB Hunt Intermodal, Swift, trucking companies, things like that. But anyway, so this is the happening part of the West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio area here. Now you go down the river, you got Cincinnati, go on down the river, you'll have Louisville, Kentucky, and Evansville, Indiana, and all that on down. I mean, there's a lot here.
lot happening in this region. This is one of the most beautiful parts of the country, but I can say that with perspective. And I can say that because I've been there. I've been to the lower 48 states, all 48 of them. I have not yet been to Puerto Rico. I want to go. I have not yet been to Alaska or Hawaii. I want to go. Those are my bucket list items for the inside the United States, part of the territorial United States, as well as there's some other territories out in the Pacific Ocean I'd love to get to as well, and the U.S. Virgin Islands down further in the Caribbean. But, you know, I want to go see all those places. It's part of this United States. But anyway, the founding of this country was, well, it's the best it could have been at the time that it was. That does not mean it was right. Jefferson, I consider to be, well, let me just say this. Martha Washington thought of Thomas Jefferson as a hypocrite. She did not talk to Thomas Jefferson for 10 years because he would say one thing and then come right around and do something else. Say he's going to do something, did something different. She couldn't trust him. And she didn't talk to him until after President Washington had passed away. I believe that's the way it worked, yeah. So, and then Jefferson and Hamilton had to be called down so many times by George Washington, President Washington, for all of their bickering and divisiveness and everything they were doing to stir up trouble and division in the country. And Washington had that on his cabinet. Both of his men were on his cabinet. One Secretary of State, one Secretary of Commerce. So, yeah. It's been that way from the very beginning. And it was obviously most likely that way far before then too. Okay, so this division, you get division anytime two people stand next to each other and have different opinions. Unless they are clones of each other, mind, body, and everything else, then exact replicas, you're going to have some disagreements. People are going to they think on their own, you know? So you're going to have those things, but you have to figure out how to manage that. And right now we are at a treacherous time in this country. We have a bunch of states deciding that for retribution purposes, they're going to go to gerrymander their congressional districts, the electoral districts within their states, in order to give one party an advantage over the other. And effectively, down in Texas, you got Abbott who's going, you know, I want to make sure the people of Texas have a voice, that their voice is heard. That's why we're drawing the maps again to make sure they get a voice heard. But you know what that does? That excludes the people who are minorities, whether it's racial or whatever. You get excluded by doing that. You don't have your voice heard. You get marginalized when you do that. The Democrats do it too. Both are wrong. But gerrymandering has been going on for so long. I really wish the Supreme Court would do something about this and put a stop to it, but what would they put in its place? I don't know. How could you be fairer about that? I don't know. I don't know. That's a conversation that we need to have, but gerrymandering is right now being weaponized against both parties. And what California is doing is wrong. What Texas is doing is wrong. What Illinois wants to, or Wisconsin, or Minnesota wants to do is wrong. I mean, this gerrymandering stuff is for the birds, but it's a tool. It's there. They're going to use it. They're going to weaponize it. And it was Trump who reached out to Greg Abbott in Texas and said, let's see if you can redraw those maps so that the Republicans will have more numbers in the Congress. No president, as far as I know, has ever done that. Ever done that. Reached out and said to a sovereign state leader, and said, hey, go redraw your congressional map so that we can have a bigger advantage in Congress. That's not done. And that's why it is so bad what Trump did. Now, the states can do it on their own, like Newsom's doing, different ones are doing around the country, Hochul in New York threatening to do it. They can decide to do it on their own. That is a state prerogative. But it's not the prerogative of the president to reach out and say, hey, do this. That is dictatorial. That is not the way this system is supposed to work. But I can tell you that that's the way that Trump wants it to work. You might not like that. You might not think that it's that bad, but it is a huge step in the wrong direction. And it's a huge red line that says, hey, I'm the president. I get to tell all of you what to do. And that's what Trump thinks. So how you deal with that, I don't know, but that's exactly what's going on. That's the truth of the matter. He's going way outside his constitutional authority and reaching in and dictating to states how they should be run, dictating to state-level university systems and telling them how to run. Yeah, yes, they're receiving federal funds. And that poses a challenge. I would suggest that these university systems in these states find ways not to take a single dime from the federal government. Do it on your own. And if you don't have the resources to do it, join up with another state and their educational system or university system to get the resources to do the research you need to be doing. But right now, the federal government is not a good player to be playing games with. It's dangerous. So, anyway, signal's still pretty strong. I'm on Highway 52, and at some point up through here, I'll pass by Pritchard, West Virginia, and then Fort Gay, West Virginia. Maybe not. It depends on if you can stay with me that long. But I know I've been on the phone on this thing for like 42 minutes now. Y'all like that I'm on here just talking and yapping away? I've got to get back home, and so that I can make sure supper is made for everybody and all that. I've got to get supper ready, and I was thinking of some quick things to do. I've got some bags of fried rice and stuff like that, teriyaki chicken and things that I can actually warm up and actually make for them. That'd probably be the easiest thing to do. It looks like I'm going to get there around the time that I probably wanted to start the show at the path forward. So I'm glad y'all are hanging out with me on the road. It's not too distracting. I do know what's coming up behind me and what's in front of me. So let's talk about one other topic. A couple of times. But anyway, this particular one has come up a few times already from different people, particularly those who are opposed to the existence of transgender Americans and LGBT Americans. You know, like the church out there in Illinois that said they should all be lined up and shot in the back of the head, or they should kill themselves, or the government should do that. The preacher said that at that church. Those people, if you believe that stuff, I'm going to tell you, you have the wrong God, or you're believing in the wrong book. I think they actually just believe only the King James Version, which was, and by all accounts, King James was gay. Yeah, those are some rumors going around. I don't know when they started. I think they started at the time, because everybody thought that he may have been. But, it wasn't a big deal back then. Homosexuality didn't appear in the Bible until 1946. The word homosexuality did not appear in any translation of the Bible until 1946. And there was a big push going on in the culture at the time to make sure that those gay men, especially, weren't allowed to be seen and heard, even though they'd been around forever. Transgender people were around long before them too. But anyway, so this church, what kind of ideology tells you that you have a right to, that these people ought to be shot? And if that is your religious beliefs, you need to find another freaking religion. That one just sucks. That one's wrong. It's point blank wrong. And I don't care if it comes out of the King James or the Cloverfield Bible or any version of the Bible. There are 45,000 different denominations recognized around the world of Christian faith, 150 different recognized versions of Islam around the world, and the Quran is just as wrong as the Bible. Both are wrong. If they tell you to do something like that against another human being, find another book. I would suggest reading Ender's Game. It's by Orson Scott Card in like 1994. It became a movie. The book's better, by the way, but the movie's good. But I mean, just study something else. Don't spend your life mindlessly following something and